Vilnius, the gateway to the Baltics, or the edge depending on where you're coming from. But this city is more than its geography and climate, which at the moment happens to be a bitterly cold blanket of snow plastered across the city like a fresh coat of paint. It's stunning, so long as you can ignore your limbs going numb. In the days leading up to my trip, I was surprised to learn that Lithuania still has a pagan community that practices their ancient faith called Romuva. Lithuania experienced one of the most violent periods of Christianization in all of Europe during the late 14th century. Early on, I got a sense that this country is deeply protective of its history, so much so that their holdout against Christianity was mentioned several times as a kind of humble brag. They were one of the last ones in Europe to fall to the cross. Today, there are an estimated 10,000 members of the Romuva community, and they're growing. Ignius here helps organize events for the community, and he was nice enough to trudge out into the snow and meet me at the altar of Ragutis. So we're out here right now at the altar of Ragutis. Can you just tell me a little bit about what is this altar, when was it put up, and who Ragutis is?
We see this church. On its wall it's written that it was built in the place of the ancient temple of Ragutis. It is written here. In the ancient times, Vilnius was kind of full of pagan temples, like our own faith temples. In the Soviet times, this territory was excavated, and they found this stone somewhere there. So it was from the ground, and as this place is considered the place where this temple of Ragutis was, so they called this stone the stone of Ragutis.
So for those who don't know who Ragutis is, could you talk a little bit about who Ragutis is and what he's the god of?
Ragutis is mainly considered as the god of beer makers, mead makers, and the god of the festivity.
After a few minutes, Ignius joins us, a 100% certified Romuva priest.
Name for priest is Vaidila, basically meaning something to guide and to be able to see special visions. And I think Ragutis is also involved with this because many of ceremonial drinks and customs involve something that is brewing beer or mead, and beer is looked after by Ragutis. Ragutis, the god of brew, the god of fermentation, and it is associated more with earth because, at least in older times, the beer was very dark. It was not like lager today. It was not filtered, it was very dark, and when you drink it you kind of feel more down to earth. You feel like more relaxed. With more hops, even more relaxed.
For Ignius, Romuva, Ragutis, it's not just about worshipping gods.
It doesn't even matter if you really are focused on these anthropomorphized gods, or you just want to worship, water, fire in their form without, pictures of lady with burning head or something.
But it's a pretty cool picture.
It is.
I saw the picture of Ragutis. I was like, I might get a tattoo of that.
Ragutis' imagery is nice because he's one of those fun gods, I would say. He takes very serious stuff like brewing, food, bread, beer, but it is a god of, I say, happiness and fun. Some people even say that it's a god of sex. It's a god of
they kind of go hand in hand sometimes
together. And of course there's a lot of imagery of horn and the male part, and Ragutis' translation would be like a little horn, maybe.
Oh.
Yeah, a little horn.
Well, it's not the size of the horn that counts, I guess.
That's not the size, but...
Ah, good, I got a penis joke in there. Clever. Speaking of penises, we need to get that blood flowing, so Ignius joins me in the warming cellar of Etno Dvara for a beer, naturally, and some lunch. Kepta dwana, fried black bread with garlic you rub on yourself, classic cold beetroot soup chock full of dill, and a sour cream butter called castinis with potatoes. A good start to the trip, if I say so myself. Coming up, I dive into Litvak Jewish cuisine, try some Baltic ciders, and go out for a jaunt around the Republic of Uchipis.